Hello, and welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. I am your host, one of your hosts, Pat McAfee. This is Sports Talk alongside the man next to me named AJ Hawk. AJ, how are you feeling this Monday afternoon?
I feel pretty good. I'm not sure what you're doing, but I feel pretty good. We're back. We got recharged over the weekend. You had a big J.R. Smith interview earlier today, so all is well.
We would like to obviously address the fact that we are saddened that the powerful protests that were launched this weekend and the past couple of days in the name of George Floyd, in which the entire country seemed to be on one side of this thing, and we were potentially getting to a pivotal point, a paramount point in our nation's history. That kind of got distracted a little bit with the riots and the destruction of things and the fires that were burning. So we were kind of saddened by that, but optimistic for the fact that it feels as if we're all on the same page and we can separate the message from the carnage. And that is a good thing, because normally we as a society aren't able to do such a thing.
And I thought J.R. Smith did a good job of explaining it too when he talked to you earlier. Like he made a comment, can't we all just lock arm in arm and protect businesses and try to de-escalate things, whatever. It seems like what he was trying to do. I know the end game wasn't that. He's just holding a kid accountable, I guess, for breaking his window.
Hey, when he beat the hell out of that kid, because I was watching this stuff all weekend. You know, I was as much of the world was all weekend. And the people that were just, exploiting this opportunity to really just handle and kind of dismantle things and light things on fire. I mean, it was like upsetting. It was like, come on, like this, you got people protesting over here, and then you got you guys just doing your own jackass thing. And it's like, you're taking the message away from these whenever there's this is like a real momentum push at this point too, that our society, I don't think has seen ever. I don't think we have ever seen the momentum that we potentially had. Everybody watched that George Floyd video and was like, that can't do it. And then now the conversation's going to be like, well, 5 cities were burnt down last night. It's like, no, come on. It could have been 5 cities had powerful protests that really, hopefully, are going to enact some actual change in our society. But it was great talking to JR. And the fact that he beat the hell out of that guy, I am such a big fan of. I mean, chasing him down, he said he's looking to get back in the NBA, so he's in some good shape. I mean, this guy catches an in-shape guy who's just kind of been working out and protesting, and you happen to just slaughter his truck's window. I mean, that is a recipe for disaster for little white Caucasian anarchist that just thought he was going to go fuck around in the Bel Air neighborhood and just kind of do some damage. Catches him.
Did JR say, has he been in contact with this kid at all?
No, JR has no idea who he is, and that kid will never come out, by the way, because if that
will the kid, he won't press charges?
Can't. This is like what happens when people allegedly rob drug dealers, right? When you rob a drug dealer, you're just assuming that the drug dealer can't call the cops because what you robbed from the drug dealer was in itself illegal, so they can't incriminate themselves by calling the cops on you, right? So that's why that is something that happens. For this particular case, if this person calls and press charges on J.R. Smith, let's assume J.R. Smith's lawyers are going to be pretty good at this point. And also, I would assume they'd be able to pin so many other things on this. This person could potentially end up being charged with like over $1 million worth of vandalism and damage and all this type of shit. If that person's to press charges, they would have to, then they're getting doxxed or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So now everybody knows who they are. Then they're getting pinned with a lot of, they can't do it. So it's not, I'm not saying that J.R. Smith, if he was to go back, he should do more to the person, which I assume a lot of people are saying. But I think it's going to be tough, just like it was tough to catch anybody that was banging through windows because they all had masks on and they weren't getting arrested. In Indianapolis, there's full ski masks, people busting out windows. They'll never be caught unless they were to come out and say, you know what, that window I was broken, fought back, hit me in the face. I'd like to sue that building. Like, that just can't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it obviously 100% should not happen. If the kid should just take the L and realize, like, hopefully it's a good moment in his life. The kid's like, hey, I was reckless. I got caught up. I broke this dude's window, and guess what? He held me accountable, and I did it to the wrong guy. So hopefully it kind of changes that kid's career, like his life path moving forward.
You think that anarchist, that kid, is like, you know what? J.R. Smith held me accountable, man. There's no way.
I hope he knows. Hey, this happened once. It could happen again.
You know,
He's nihilist, AJ. Believes in nothing.
I do wonder if he goes like last night when he went to bed last night, he was like, Fucking wrong window there.
J.R. Smith? Who
Man,
knew?
how'd I get, he's probably like, I'm so unlucky. All my buddies broke all kinds of stuff.
So he breaks that window off by himself. He runs back to wherever the group is. He's like, you never fucking believe what just happened. What happened? J.R. Smith just beat me up. They're like, J.R. Smith did not beat you up. Yes, he did. J.R. Smith beat my ass. Look like, no, that's because you fell. No, it's J.R. Smith. And his fans like, or his friends, his little dumbass anarchy friends are like, no, let's go get some fucking liar. They're not doing it. And then the internet, they're like, did you see it? It was J.R. Smith that you got. I wonder if there was any follow-up conversation from the fuckboys that were out there doing all the damage to everything that didn't even realize that they're fighting allegedly for justice for African-American people and equality. And what are they doing? They're costing the only black person on that street a broken window in his car. They're burning down black-owned businesses. It's like, you don't even know who you're an idiot. And that's why when J.R. Smith beat the hell out of him, the whole world rejoiced. And I would hope that continues. What a cool guy for coming on the show, by the way. That was insane.
Great guy. Yeah, I saw you tweeted something at him. Did he get right back to you or what?
Well, I tweeted something at him, and then on Instagram, I did something in the IG story, because you show up in the DMs there of the IG story. And since he followed me, since I was part of a team that beat him for one of these in a golf tournament down in the Bahamas, since he followed me, it showed up in his actual DM. So I think he actually saw it and was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I was like, holy shit. Whenever he said yes, sir, I was like, I followed up with are you sure, basically? He was like, yeah. I was like, my man. So then this morning I woke up. I was like, I'm going to be talking to J.R. Smith today. Then came in, I was like, that is early LA time. I don't know if we're like that. We've hung out. We are friends. He watches most of my IG stories. You can see who's watching. I watch all of it. I feel like we have a good internet relationship, he and I, on Instagram. But then this morning he hit me with, on my way, let's go. And I was like, Mike. And then as soon as he zoomed him, we saw him at his house. That was fucking unbelievable. I'm so thankful he came on the show. And I think a good conversation was had, and a lot of people who might have misunderstood what the messaging was throughout this entire weekend because it might have got lost in the riots and the burning and the looting and the damage and that. He was a great conversation for it. He was a great conversation for everything, and hopefully it'll only add to the momentum that we have as a society. There's him marching, by the way. Great camera lens. Good lens. He said he got some dope ass footage, by the way.
Strong mask, too.
Strong mask.
Didn't he seem like very mature in your interview with him? Like, I was like, okay, he didn't just come on and say, oh, this little punk broke my window and I beat him up for it. Like, he had like a good message, I feel like.
Yeah, J.R. Smith's awesome.
I know. I've known that for a while. I think it's good it's great that you got that straight from him.
He's a good guy. Doesn't like Hennessy either. Everybody calls him the Henny God because there's a photo of him in that parade with 2 bottles of Hennessy. He's not even that big of a Hennessy fan.
Like Jack.
Yeah. I wonder if Hennessy never came through with like a, like a full
offer.
And Jared was like, okay, well, I'm fucking done with this. I'm not doing that. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff. A friend of ours, and we're actually going to call him right now, so I think we have to lose you for a second, AJ. Adam Amin, you're going to be calling back with. This guy, Adam Amin, was play-by-play guy for ESPN for every single sport. You'd see him on Thursday nights, he'd be doing college football. On Fridays, somehow, he'd be doing like college basketball. He'd be doing baseball at certain times. He does the hot dog eating contest every 4th of July. Go ahead, Connor. Connor's microphone's off.
NBA, too.
Yeah, he calls the NBA.
Sunday doors.
He literally calls everything. He just got a deal with Fox Sports, so ESPN let him out of the building somehow when his contract was up. He goes over to Fox. I think he's going to get a chance to call some NFL games as well. Ooh. Talented play-by-play guy. I got a chance to experience it. Thursday Night Football in a bunch of towns across the South, basically, whenever we were calling on ESPN. Good dude, but every time we talk to him about goals, aspirations, and everything like that, obviously you want to call NFL games. He wanted to move up in the broadcasting ranking, but he talked about how the Chicago Bulls play-by-play person was his dream job. He's like, ever since I was a kid, I want to be the voice of the Chicago Bulls, basically. I want to be, he didn't say the voice of the Chicago Bulls. That'd be quite an aggressive take, I guess, but he wanted to be the ones doing the play-by-play for the Chicago Bull games. Just got hired to do that. So literally he just got that. So not only did he just get a gig with Fox, now he's going to be the play-by-play guy for his hometown team, his dream gig with the Chicago Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Amin.
Oh my gosh! Hey, this is for you though, buddy. What do we got here? We got the cutoff. This is all for you.
A little sleeveless hoodie action. I don't know
All for you, pal.
You do look small. You look like you've gotten into great shape during quarantine, locked in your apartment over there. A lot of news with you. You go to Fox. You're trying to deal with Fox. Congratulations. But today it comes out that you get your dream position basically is now being the lead play-by-play for the voice of the Bulls, technically the new voice of the Bulls. This has to be massive for you, I'd assume.
We've had talks about this, right? Where we come from is really important to us, right? AJ, I know you feel the same way. Where you come from is important to you. Pat, I know how you feel about Pittsburgh, hanging out with you in your hometown and seeing how people respond to you. And I hope that ends up being the case, man. This is where I'm from. You can see the city back here. Like, this is my home, and I'm thankful to have an opportunity like this for a team that I grew up watching. I'm 5 years old, sitting on the couch in my parents' basement watching Bulls games. It's nuts.
Adam, do you how nice is it going to be, I guess, to where if you're the Bulls full-time play-by-play guy, you can be a bit biased towards the Bulls, can't you?
Yeah.
A little bit, man. Like you feel connection, you feel investment, and I don't think I've ever been a homer. Like Pat, Pat's worked with me in the booth. He knows how I am, but I think having some investment and connectivity to not only the team that you're watching, but the fans who are watching games, because I am that. I was that. I still am that. So I think letting that out a little bit and letting people in and kind of connecting on that level, I think that's what makes a lot of the great hometown announcers really, really good.
Myron Cope of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the man who created the terrible towel.
Terrible towel.
That terrible towel, double yoy downer. There's the voice of the town. Is all the highlights that'll go on in infamy forever. It's normally the local play-by-play person because it's the most passionate, the most spirited, and things of that nature. And then I think back to semi-pro with the Flint Tropics. There's two commentators that travel around. Basketball is a little bit different because it is an intimate thing. Like, you're traveling now with this team. You're going to be around a lot with this team. You become a part of the team almost, and that has to feel pretty cool as a guy who grew up in Chicago. Like you said, you're a member of the Chicago Bulls ipso facto.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. And think about if you're a fan of one team and how passionate you get on Sundays if you're watching the Steelers or you're watching the Colts, you're watching the Packers, whatever it may be. Think about how passionate and excited you get when something good happens. Like, again, it's not the same level if I'm on the air for that, but if I'm watching and something great happens, I want these guys to do good. I want them to be successful because you are traveling with them. When you get to know people, you're going to be more invested in them. So when you travel with a lot of these guys, you get to know them a little bit, get to learn their stories, you get to learn their background, what type of people they are. You want them to do good things.
You're a good storyteller, too. So the more you learn about people, I think it's only going to make the coverage of the team better, which is good for the fans, which is good for the Bulls, especially after this whole Last Dance thing has come out.
Man, what a time, right, to jump in after the momentum of all this. Everybody's kind of intrigued by the Bulls again and the franchise just nationally. Obviously here in Chicago, everybody's passionate about it, but now everybody's been watching. They want to see this franchise be good again, right? You need the cornerstone franchise of these leagues to be great teams, and I'm hoping that front office change, new GM, new assistant GM, a lot of young talent. I'm hoping that all that kind of combines to get to a good place.
Adam, I know everyone's asking about should these broadcasts, if there's no fans in the stands, should they add a little subtle bed of some crowd noise? Like, I guess, where do you stand on this, and have you given any thought?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit. I like crowd noise. Like, I live for that. That's what gives me energy. Pat knows, standing next to me in the booth. Like, I live when the crowd's big. We're jacked up, man. We're loving it. So you want some semblance of that in your headset. But I can understand too, if you're a fan, it might be a little bit jarring. Watching the Bundesliga, the big time German soccer. You're thinking, all right, well, this sounds a little natural. You might have to get used to it a little bit before you feel truly comfortable with it.
Yeah. You do too, and hey, when the crowd gets going, the fist bumps start coming out for Amin. He's like, hey,
I'm like jacking him in the shoulder. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Like this is great. I think that's the thing about a good play-by-play person, though, is if they enjoy what they're doing. I think too much in your world, in the play-by-play world, it's a lot of, I don't want to say older voices, but it is. It's a lot of older voices who've been there, done that. And I don't want to say they get jaded with the sport, but they kind of lose. The sport loses its luster to some people, and it's very apparent while they're calling the game. There isn't much emotion. They're not enjoying what they're doing. This is why when Tony Romo comes in and shows just a little bit of emotion and happiness, people are like, this is what we love. That's why I think with you, you have that incredible joy with sports, and it's not just – basketball. It's not football. You would call bowling, I think, and make it electric. I think that's the good thing about you is I think you genuinely enjoy what the hell you're doing and love the sports as a whole. Is that accurate? Yeah.
I think I hope so. I hope that's what it comes off. Like part of the reason that I enjoyed our time together so much is because you, me, Matt, and Molly had a good time. Every time we went on the air, every time we were off the air, we had a blast. AJ, you've been with Pat in the booth, my buddy Sean Kelly. You guys did a broadcast together. You know that if you guys are having a good time and it's real, it's genuine, it's authentic, then the people sitting at home are going to get caught up in that. It is infectious. Don't ever get that twisted. For any of you who are on TV, who do this for a living, if your passion is genuine, people will see it. They'll latch onto it. They're going to want to connect with that. And I think that's what made our season so much fun this past year, man. Seriously.
Adam, what went through your mind when you first got the news that Pat was going to be joining you in the booth?
Hasselbeck called me. This is like 2 days before we're actually going to meet, right? So Hasselbeck's telling me a week before, he's like, hey, I think McAfee might actually join the crew. Like we got a chance. I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't really know much about him, but he's pretty entertaining. He's been pretty funny. I enjoy that. He goes, you're going to get along with him more than you get along with me. And me and Matt get along really well, but Pat and I are like cut from a very similar cloth, as obviously the resemblance is uncanny here.
Yeah, bingo.
But like a couple days before we were going to meet for the first time, our bosses like had a conference call with us. They're like, yeah, McAfee's coming on. He's going to see you for the first time in Charlotte in 2 days. All right, good luck. And like, that's all it was. So I show up. I don't know what to think. I don't know what he's going to feel about me. And then I think at our seminar or whatever, we ended up playing like Family Feud on the stage with everybody. And I jumped on Pat's back and we walked off the stage after we dominated for real. And I was like, the fact that you were so responsive and like, it felt easy. It felt legitimately easy. And I get along with people that are like that. They're easy to get along with. They're genuine. They want to hang out. They want to connect. That's what it was like.
The thing about it was I didn't know I was doing that either until you guys got So, I mean, 2 days before the college, and I don't know much about college football at this point because I hadn't paid attention for, I don't know, the last 10 years of my life or whatever. So 2 days before this college, it might have been like 1 day before the college seminar.
Maybe.
Yeah, I get a heads up.
I think so.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you got to go down to Charlotte now because all the college football people are going down to Charlotte. Like, I'm a college football person. Like, oh, yeah, you are doing Thursday night football.
Wait, you're telling me they told you like a day or two in advance that you were doing something completely new? No kidding. That's shocking.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. And then I get down there. They asked me to tell everybody to sit down, and I don't even know what the fuck the conference is that we're at.
Oh my God, that was insane. I felt so bad. So we've got a room full of like 400, 500 people or so. Maybe I'm overshooting it, but it felt like 400 or 500 people in this big conference room at this hotel. And so I'm standing like 2 feet away from Pat. We had just met for like the first time. And somebody from ESPN comes up and goes, hey, Pat, can you go up to the front and just get everybody settled down? You know, just do your thing. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What am I? All right. And we're like, okay, let's see what this. Molly, Matt, and I are just like leaning in. We're like, oh, yeah, let's see how this goes. This is going to be great.
Oh, I think I asked Adam. I was like, Adam, what is the name of the thing we were currently at? It was the college football seminar. It was like had an entire name. I was like, I don't even know what I am at currently. I know we're at Charlotte. So I just went up there, swore early, got Levy to start laughing. As soon as I got
get their attention. Get their attention.
As soon as I got Levy laughing, I looked and Herbie was losing his mind a little bit. I'm like, okay, if those two are laughing, I don't really give a damn about anybody else. And then everybody else kind of bought in. And then I was mid-story and everybody sat down. I was like, all right, that's all I was supposed to fucking do. Let's get this thing started. And I introduced Lee. I think I introduced Lee Fitting immediately after that.
Yeah, our boss who like handles every aspect of football at ESPN. And Pat swearing up the storm. Like, all right, fucking A, this is the best thing ever. Lee Fitting, everybody. It's like, right, this is what I'm getting. I can't even remember what was going through my head. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be an interesting season.
Well, then I sit down, right? The groups were sitting in certain areas. So, like, our group was over here, and then there was another group. Like, groups were everywhere. I go and sit down, and Lee starts his entire speech about, like, college football. And it was only at that moment I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm at, like, the training camp. This is like training camp for all the college football crews. And then people start talking. They're like, this is the last time a lot of us will see each other because we're on different crews. So for the next 6 months, we're going to go opposite directions. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, people are going off to war. Like, okay. So this is – so I didn't fully understand what we were –
ready to write to your loved ones, write to your wives and children.
It's like, oh, my God. It was a good time, though. Adam was incredible at what he does, AJ.
Hey, Pat, I got to jump in. Okay, so you're at this giant seminar. All the biggest people are working college football. Is there no MC at the event? Like, who is running this? Why are they grabbing Pat? He doesn't even know where he's at to have him push the crowd.
Yeah.
I think, I think we just don't, like, our bosses will come up and, like, a couple broadcasters will come up and, like, moderate panels, but it's, like, kind of a free-for-all. They're just going through an agenda, whatever executive or person in charge
hey,
needs to
guess
talk
what?
about this or that.
Whenever I don't know if that seminar will be able to happen this year, but I think Pat's got a job for life as the MC of this event going from here on out.
No.
I listen. I think it would. If you invite other people in, make it like a public forum. The hits for that would be insane. Insane.
I couldn't even fathom it. That was why I didn't even know the name of the thing I was at, AJ.
I was like, ESPN college football seminar. Just stick with that. You'll be fine. I promise.
Let's talk about you moving to Fox. This is a big deal. This doesn't happen all the time. I feel like play-by-play people kind of sit in there. You move over to Fox, and we're in a world where you're the youngest up-and-coming play-by-play guy. I've got a chance to work with you. I love everything that you do. What was the move to Fox? Why did it happen? What are your thoughts and expectations, obviously? You loved your time at ESPN. That's
no doubt.
Understood. But what are your expectations for what you're going to do at Fox?
Yeah, I think when they came in and you know, and I knew the guys at Fox for a while. You guys have worked with them. Like they're good people. Just like at ESPN, like I don't go somewhere and I don't work with people voluntarily unless I like them and I feel comfortable with them and I feel like they have my best interest at heart. That's how I felt at ESPN for a long time. And I've gotten to know a lot of the people at Fox over the last 5 to 7 years. You know, like you talk, you run into them at events. And when I'd go and meet with them when my contract would be up, you know, like free agents do, you meet with teams or whatever it is. You know, we're free agents in a sense as well. So we say, hey, all right, this is what we might have for you. This is what we might have for you. And it never felt like the right time to go. You know, I just felt like what I was doing at ESPN was valuable. I obviously felt appreciated there. We got to do great stuff. Like these events are just awesome. Like it's been a blast doing what I was doing. And I was finally getting to a point, not only in my career, but in my life, where I kind of wanted to narrow down the focus a little bit. I was doing a lot of sports, you know, like 6, 7 sports at ESPN, doing TV, doing radio, working, you know, most of the year, which is all good, but I wanted to narrow it down a little bit. And when they said, hey, we have an NFL role for you. We think you could be a part of our NFL coverage. We love what you do on baseball. We'll give you the flexibility. If the Chicago Bulls are a real option for you, we give you flexibility for that. And the fact that everybody at the Bulls, everybody at Fox, everybody was so accommodating. They were all in, like, let's make this work. We want you to be a part of this. I just felt really appreciated, and I felt appreciative of that as well. And it really has little to do with ESPN. I had 9 amazing years at ESPN. Like you said, Pat, I loved my time there. But I think it was a good time to move. I think it was a good time to try to take the next step, new chapter. And the fact that I get to do this now, be home in my hometown a little bit more often, you know, whenever we get back to normalcy, I think it was just too good of an offer to pass up. I would have been stupid to turn it down.
Adam, last thing for me, we know you have your dream job working for the Bulls. Where else, I guess, when it's not basketball season, where else will we see you? You mentioned the NFL. Like, do you know any more details? Not yet, and I'd say that's what's so weird, because by now, you know, you feel like you'd have a real good glimpse. You got the schedule. You kind of know who you might be working with when you get to June, maybe even July, and maybe we'll know that sooner rather than later. But like you said, there's so much uncertainty with not only what's happened in our country. By the way, Pat, I appreciate what you said. You know, very good words that you put out there. Not only what's happening in the country, but we're still in the middle of a pandemic. These leagues are trying to figure out what's best for their personnel. Can we make this work? Can we make this work, like, technologically, logistically? Can all this happen? So usually we probably have a much better idea of it. But I think, if I had to put an answer to it, I think we're going to be playing in September. I think the NFL is going. I expect to be working. Hopefully that'll be the case. And if this year is a little bit different, so be it. I think all of us understand what the circumstances are, but we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, but you'll be self-aware enough to understand that the viewer is also experiencing something very different. And I think
absolutely,
I think that's a big deal. Is like, as the commentator, you're setting the tone for everybody, right? The environment, the watch party,
Yeah, and I think our job is almost that much more important. Like what you guys do now is important. You're a break, you're a respite. People look to you for a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of news, all that stuff. People are going to want to watch football when it's back on, whenever it comes on. If it comes on, they're going to want to watch it. You have to be true to it. You have to be true to the environment that's in front of you. The crowd noise once the game starts, whether it's synthetic or whatever, that's all well and good, but you do have to give people a sense of place. That's something that we all take a lot of pride in when we do these broadcasts. We prepare. We want to give people a sense of the place that we're at so that you can bring them in when they're watching on their couches.
Embrace
the place.
The place. That was that was rule number 1 on the at the ESPN college football seminar. I was like, oh, that's why they brought me in. Just to embrace.
You got to embrace this place. Just embrace all of us. Put those big arms around all your people.
All right. Well, Adam, I can't thank you enough. Good luck. You're the best. I'm happy for you. I can't wait for more humans to get a chance to watch you work. You're a talented young gentleman who's going to be obviously at the top sooner than later, hopefully. And the Chicago Bulls got a good one. Chicago Bulls building back that dynasty up there in Chicago.
Appreciate all you guys, man. All of you, seriously. Everybody on your show, you guys are the best. Love all you guys.
Do you want to call Zito fat one more time?
Oh, come on.
No. Zito works too hard for that. That's my guy. And Zito already sent a very, very, very sweet tweet. I appreciate that. That's my guy, man.
Well, you did call him fat on national TV.
I did it for the sake of the joke. I hope I think Zito knows that.
My mother calls me fat now because of you.
Oh, his mom. His mom's a diehard Bulls fan, and she's like, "Hey, if the voice of the Bulls is calling you Gordo, I gotta call you."
You made Christmas a lot more interesting. Thank you a lot.
Oh, you're the best, ladies.
Muy flaco, my man Zito.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Amin.
Love you, boys. Thank you.
He's good. He was really good. He was really, really, really good.
I'm interested to see him next to Stacey King, who is 7 foot, and Adam is not 7 foot.
But when he did college basketball a lot, they had a box.
Sometimes they didn't, though, and that was an a-hole move.
That's very rude, and they didn't even offset. Remember, his head was barely at the graphics.
Yeah, it was the lower third was blocking his nose.
The chin was blocking, too. I mean, it was tough.
He's a little bit shorter, obviously, but boy, that guy is good at what he does. He knows everything. He literally knows everything. He's just a guy. Hey, is that your first time talking to Adam Amin right there?
Yeah, it is.
He's working with him was insane. He wrote, what's that called when you're in court and a stenographer?
Yeah.
No, a stenographer.
Yep.
He was like a stenographer in those coaches meetings. You know what I'm talking about? Because it basically became me, Matt, Molly, a conversation with the coach, right? And it wasn't like a standard, I'd assume, color commentator, analyst questions that were happening with the coach. It was like a podcast conversation basically with the coach. And Adam, he would ask his questions like, hey, who's in, who's out, who's replacing for this, like all the ones that he needs or whatever. And then he was like, basically, Adam was very cool. And I think the reason why it worked with us so much is because Adam was so okay with like, I don't want to say I talk a lot, but I do talk a lot. And from what I've been told is play-by-play people normally, like those meetings before thing, like don't talk. Like this was his show basically, and you're like a part of it. And Adam told me early, he was like, hey, I want to let you know, you do whatever you want to do, say whatever you want. We're in this thing together. We just want the best product. And I was like, Adam, that's very cool of you. But I'd never worked with anybody else, so it didn't really make sense to me. And then I started hearing stories from other people about how they would act. They were like, oh, yeah, there's no way blah, blah, blah would let you do that. But we would have these coaches meetings. They'd be like an hour and a half long, maybe 2 hours long, long conversations because these coaches would be opening up for us basically. And I hadn't watched a single ounce of film. So every piece of information I'm getting from the coach right now is basically helping me out a lot. Hasselbeck was asking questions. Molly would ask questions. He wrote down everything. Okay. He typed down everything. Watching his fingers go was just like next level. He's like, and then the next meeting we had like that night, he had it all. Like all of it was either in notes right in front of him that were easy to read underneath each player. He had it all in there. He knew it was just incredible to watch his brain work. And then he'd somehow dump it. And he's like, all right, I got to go call a hot dog eating contest tomorrow. Let me learn about all these people. It was unbelievable, the turnover of his brain. He was really cool. And I'm happy the Bulls got him.
Well, I think the toughest thing, like you said, after the game, he flushes that. And those play-by-play guys, a lot of like color commentators, if you're a football color commentator, you're going to do whatever 12, 16 games a year, and it's on to the next game, but you have 6 days or whatever, 7 days coming up before the next game. For those play-by-play guys and gals, like they move on to other sports throughout the week. Like, oh, where are you coming from? Well, I came from Ohio. They're like, well, I was in Indiana calling a college women's basketball game, and then I did a men's game on Wednesday, and Thursday I squeezed in like a hot dog eating contest, and now here I am for the game Saturday.
I'm like, how do you keep all those separate? And Adam
just the names alone, like just being able to identify and announce what's happening on the field, but then just to be able to pronounce them right, to know all of these names. Obviously, you have charts and boards that they can see all of this, but still, with all the different sports, it's unbelievable. People have no idea.
The Zito board potentially was going to change the entire commentator. Everybody knows that commentators have those big boards that have everybody's name and everything on them and little stories and notes underneath that. We took a shot at a Zito production this year on those things.
It's still in production. It was really good, though.
It was
for what it was.
It was a manila folder.
That's what it's called, yeah.
It was a manila folder that we did, where basically it would be the same thing as the big ass sheet
poster board you get.
But it was a post. Yeah, it was hard to travel with. You couldn't really move. So Zito started putting them on manila folders front and back. So we folded that over and just put it in a bag. It was game changing, to be honest with you. But I didn't look at them ever, so I told him to stop doing them because I'm not gonna fucking learn these names anyways. Let's go.
Well, there's a surface, like there's a guy that can build boards for you. That a lot of people use.
yeah.
I've seen play-by-play people do that.
I know him.
We know him.
We know him. Why you try
11
to
by
get
18. It has to be that size.
Yeah, it was. That guy was very, very helpful. Let's not get it twisted. That guy was very helpful, but
I use that guy, so I know.
He's a good guy, very helpful. It was not conducive to our schedule, though, where we're traveling and moving, and you can't have a piece of paper that's this big, and then if you fold it, it kind of gets. I mean, it was so we tried to reinvent the thing, and I think we did.
We did for sure.
If I had any chance of looking at that thing during the game, I think we would have kept doing it. I didn't look down one time. I mean, I didn't even. Oh, number 12 there had a hell of a run, and Adam Amin would be like, "That is Jackson with the run." Like that's why I think Adam was. Maybe that's why he had to study so much.
Even for these people too, where they're so crammed together.
I was thinking for me. Probably my fault why I had to study. Now that I think about it, that's on me, Adam. Thanks for getting. Hey, good. Hey, you got your gig. You got your gig. Good for him.
You're welcome.
MLB. It seems like they're getting further and further away, AJ. The MLBPA proposed something back to the MLB. We had Jet passing on this morning, and he said he doesn't know if he said this deal was better than expected that the MLBPA offered the MLB ownership, but it's nowhere near basically a deal that he thinks the MLB ownership is going to say yes to. They only have a week left. It sure feels like this MLB thing ain't happening. And we talked about how the diehard fans of the MLB, the Ty Schmitz of the world, okay? The people that are diehard fans of baseball, which I guess there are those people. I've met them now with Ty. There's other I believe those are those people. If they watch all these other leagues figure out a way to get sports back, they watch all these other leagues figure it out. And then this sport that they've been a diehard fan of, okay? I get accosted because I'm a diehard fan of baseball. People tell me it isn't interesting. They tell me that 7 innings are wasted. People tell me that there's too many. But I'm a diehard MLB fan. I am a baseball fan. This fan now has to sit here through years and years of being just mocked and ridiculed for liking a sport that is just archaic at this point and a bit slow and a bit boring and things of that nature. But their loyalty has been staked. Now they have to watch all these other leagues figure it out and them not be able to figure it out. I think that'll be the deepest burn is for their diehard fans that are like, God damn it. Everybody else can figure it out. I've stuck with this stupid, boring ass sport for a long time, and now everybody else can play, but my sport can't. Just another problem for baseball.
So for a diehard baseball fan like yourself, if this season,
like that character I was just talking about.
Yes. Oh, I assumed that character was you, but let's say you put yourself in those shoes as the diehard baseball fan. If this season is canceled, it does not happen. Do you continue to watch baseball moving forward?
Well, you got to punish them. You got to punish them with your fanhood. You got to punish them with your.
How do I do that? Just don't tune in.
You stop giving them a fucking rating, and you don't buy baseball caps anymore. You buy Kangol hats because you don't want to see a single dollar go back to the MLB. And that's not me. I'm just talking about that fan that could be very jaded potentially because of how this whole thing's playing out. Ty could probably speak. Yeah,
I want to ask Ty's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I will definitely still watch baseball next year if they take a year off. Like, it'll suck not having it, but there are definitely plenty of people who will virtue signal and just be like, oh, fuck it, can't ever watch it again, these fucking guys. I am not one of those people, but I'm sure there are a lot of people like that out there.
I think it's better for baseball if they take a year off. Get away from the Houston Astros stuff.
Let people miss it.
Let people miss it a little bit. You know what I miss? I miss a nice home run snag at the wall.
Throw it in.
On Sports Center. Maybe people will miss. You know what I miss? I miss Bryce Harper with the great hair flip dong shot, bat flip, almost fight with pitcher. Let people miss that maybe. I don't think it's going to be that a catastrophe to the MLB if they don't play this season, but a lot of people seem to think that the diehard fans are not going to be happy about it.
It's going to go one way or the other, don't you think, to where people are going to really miss it, and you're going to see things trending on Twitter when the season's canceled, like, oh, this would have been when the playoffs started, and they're going to show like clips and highlights, or people are going to be like, oh, wait, did the season get canceled? Like, it's going to go one way.
Oh, COVID-19 happened. Yeah, we're not playing that sport this year. Yeah, we all decided. Yeah, we're playing it next year.
Next year, we're not playing baseball?
Yeah, because, well, there was like a few $1 billion that they couldn't figure out. And COVID-19 came. We're just doing it next year.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. But then you're right. On this day, just 3 years ago, blah, 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 hit grand slam to win series against blah, blah, blah. Those clips are going to start circling the internet, and then the internet's going to get behind it. Real shame can't do it this year because fucking guys can't figure out billions of dollars. That narrative could potentially get spun in quite a tight web, if I had to guess. But they got 1 week to figure it out. And
hey, what happens to guys like our guy Jeff Passan if there is no baseball season? What does he do?
Well, we're not going to fucking talk to him, are we?
No.
Can't talk to that guy.
Why would
does
we?
anymore.
We're not talking to Jet. No way.
Pat, you ever see one of my favorite things I just noticed happened again when you cut and the camera angle changes and they start to slow zoom, usually on Ty, watching Diggs stare at the camera with his weird little goofy smile. Yeah, I don't know why. It makes me smile.
Well, it's like The
it's
Office.
just weird. He does it every time.
Who's that guy on The Office?
Jim
Halpert.
Yeah, that guy. The guy that's now Clancy.
I don't know what to do with my face, AJ.
Krasinski.
Tom Clancy.
John Krasinski. Yeah, Tom Kransky.
Tom Kransky. Here.
Here, Tom.
Here, Tom Kransky.
Tom Kransky. Everyone loves Tom Kransky. Hey, speaking of that,
Baseball Tom
what do you
Lemansky.
think? How much do you think George Kittle is going to get per year?
20.
Really? It's going to start with a 2?
I think 20.
He's going to average 20 a year?
George Kittle, I think so.
I looked it up. Julio Jones is the highest paid receiver. He averages 22 a year right now. He got like 64 guaranteed. The highest paid tight end gets 10.5 right now.
I think it'll be in between 15 to 20. North of I think it's going to be closer to 20. George Kittle is vital to that Niners offense. And it's not just catching and emotional, everything like that. It is the way he's a road grader. I mean, they rushed. I don't have to say it because Ty's in here and he doesn't deserve it, especially with all this potential no baseball talk and the Yankees spending over $450 million this offseason and everything like that. But 186 yards before contact in the AFC Championship game, and George Kittle was doing a lot of people moving during that thing. And I think we're hitting an era now where people are going to start making more and more money. Now, I would wonder if the quarantine, COVID-19 here, affects everything because ticket sales and salary cap going down. But I think he'll be I think you'll look for him in the wide receiver area of money, I think. Because I think the Niners might potentially be the first team that does a tight end deal accurately, where they judge him, okay, he's kind of an offensive lineman. He's kind of a wide receiver as well. We see him doing this and this. And John Lynch and Shanahan potentially give him like hey, we understand you're worth more than just what a tight end should be paid because you do that. Just like this was the issue with Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was the number one wide receiver and a running back, and he wanted, okay, I want to be, since I'm both, I want that. Steelers were like, no, this is running back money. Then a holdout happens. Jets pay him not as much as he wanted, but more than the Steelers are offering. I think the Niners could potentially be the team that are like, hey, Kittle, we understand your worth and we'll pay you for all this stuff because there's not a lot of George Kittles out there, and you need not lose George Kittle if you're that Niners team.
No, John Lynch absolutely knows how valuable George Kittle is. He's made comments about like what they're going to get it done. They're going to find a way. But how far does George Kittle want to take it? I know his agent says like we're going to do a George Kittle deal, not a tight end deal. And I agree. Like he should get paid 20 a year. Most likely, I don't know if he's going to be able to get up to that number, but I guess it's safe to say he will get north of 15 mil a year, which is a huge jump from the other highest paid tight end per year average.
You know what's going to be interesting now is watching other teams that have to pay their tight ends.
Yes.
Kelsey.
With George Kittle. Well, Kelsey, though, and Kittle, I think they are. And Austin Hooper just got $40 million over here at the Browns, and he's a blue.
He got 23 guaranteed. I think it's 10 and a half a year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you could easily say Kittle's going to get 50 guaranteed, don't you think?
Oh, I think Kittle's deal is going to be large because Kittle's like Kittle, Gronk, Kelsey. Here's tight ends that cannot be duplicated. I mean, granted, they are duplicated because there's more than one of them. But I feel like that is somebody you need on your team, especially with the way the rules are now, with how tight ends can be kind of down the middle of the field without getting kill shots on them. I mean, we're in a tight end era, and if you're on a team that understands that, especially if you got a great run game like Shanahan has, the tight end's always going to be open off the run game. I mean, that is just something you need. Hopefully, he'll be able to get a massive deal done. Is that come out that they are negotiating that deal right now?
Yeah, the contract negotiations.
Didn't they say
they're
they're kind of at a stalemate right now?
Well, I'll tell you why. Everything I just said is what Kittle's agent said. And then AJ's first reaction to what I said, you think it's going to have a 2 in front of it? That is what the Niners are doing. So we just showed you exactly why that deal has come to a stalemate at this point.
Well, then don't you think if you're the Niners and you're John Lynch and you're saying, hey, I get it. I understand. You're not just a tight end. You are so much more to this football team. You do so much for this team and for the city that we can't even put a stat to. I get it. But I can't all of a sudden double the average per year salary of the next highest paid tight end for you.
Wouldn't that be awesome if he did, though?
He should. He probably will get close.
Are Travis Kelce's days on the Chiefs numbered then? Because he's got, 2 years left on his, and then they got to pay Mahomes, $50 million a year starting next year?
Yeah, not going to be able to pay Travis Kelce probably.
No chance.
Unless Travis Kelce says, hey, we got Jason Kelce on Wednesday. We got Jason Kelce on. We're not going to ask him about Travis Kelce. Maybe at the end we will. Maybe we'll slip in that conversation. But you start looking ahead on who needs money and who has it and things of that nature. That's where if you're a GM, Brandon Beane told us this, where you see how much people are making and who has to get paid. You start basically in your head figuring out who's going to be available, whether free agency or salary casualty or anything of that nature. That has to be something a lot of people are looking at. And Travis Kelce would be a weapon. Well,
and you have to think, too, if you have a guy like George Kittle, like a contract coming up, or Pat Mahomes, you got to look at your roster and say, all right, who can we trade to try to get some of this, to build some cap space so we can sign these giant deals?
Bingo, AJ.
Bingo.
You know, I was talking to J.R. Smith earlier today.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
J.R. Smith and I off air had a conversation, and you guys would never believe what it was about.
What? Oh, yeah, what was that?
It was about the Raycon E25.
Oh, best earbuds in the game.
The best
Makes
earbuds.
sense, actually.
Ever. J.R. Smith says, hey, you know those Raycon E25 earbuds you've been promoting? He said, I love those. I said, hey, so do I, JR. They have a nice noise isolating fit right there in my ear, you know? And they come with the boom booms, and guess what? They're half the price of all the other things on the market. Ooh. So not only are we shopping smart, we're also getting high quality. J.R. Smith says he likes them. A.J. Hawk likes them. I like them, and they're supporting this show. Raycon's hitting the goddamn home run at this point, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the best. I love Raycon.
They're draining half-court shots, swish after swish after swish.
Nice. Boom, boom, boom.
Let me hear you say,
hey-o, hey-o.
Right.
Boom, boom. Let me hear you say, hey-o. Raycon. Probably get a strike for that because of how good we sounded, but we can only sound better if you're listening to us on the Raycon E25 earbuds. Right now, you go to buyraycon.com/sports talk. That's BUYRAYCON.com/sports talk for 15% off your order. Brought to you by Raycon. Good people. Let me tell you, these earbuds are incredible. They have fun colors. They have a good design. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth, the best model, the E25 earbuds. Ooh. I work out with every single day. I've been on this Stairmaster, AJ. Hey, have you seen me on this Stairmaster on Instagram? No, of course you haven't because you don't go online because you got 7 kids. But I've been on this Stairmaster, AJ. And Raycon has been joining me every step of the way.
How's that Stairmaster going? So you've moved away from your pool workouts, or did you just add this to your day?
Still doing the pool workouts. Now, granted, had a little
What's going on? Are you making a comeback?
No, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to become the best me. You know, I'm trying to take care of me. I would like to live longer than I thought I was going to. I already made it past the point of when I thought I was potentially going to die because of all the damage I did. Is the liver down here?
I think so.
Somewhere around
the
there.
liver. I did a lot of damage to the inside here, whether it's McDonald's or tequilas or beers or anything else. I've done a lot of damage to the inside here. I always thought I was going to die young. Assumed it was the case, actually. I was always like, hey, listen, probably going to end up dead at some point.
Why, though? Why did you assume that?
Well, I was just beating it. I mean, you're AJ.
There's a lot of kids, Pat, that abuse their body, especially young, that don't have that nagging feeling like, oh, I'm going to die young. I might as well ride it hard while I'm here.
I'm just not sure. There's many. You're talking just buying hundreds of shots a night, like consistently, night after night after night. Just new city. What do we do? Bingo, bango. Same story. How we doing? All right, let's go somewhere else.
What were you searching for when you're buying shots for all these people? What were you trying to like build love, build buy friends? What were you trying to do?
I just want people to have the greatest night of their lives every night. That's what I was looking for.
That's a great message to send, I think.
Well, I agree. It cost me some money for sure.
Yeah, if you want to be the person funding it, then yeah, I'm very supportive of this.
But it was a good payoff back. You know the feeling of when you're in a bar and everybody is on the same page? It's awesome.
It's very rare. It's tough to get.
It is tough to get. By the way, there was a run there for a few years where I saw that every single night. It was beautiful. You're talking about DJs happy now, bartenders are happy, bar backs are happy. There's free shots and drinks going out because I've already tipped out enough that they're all happy. It's just like and that was a lot. It was a lot, and those things can add up on you. And I ate terribly. I ate very poorly. I always thought. But anyways, now I'm at the point where I would like to no longer be a fat ass. I think I want to kind of take care of myself, move forward. Yesterday, could have ate an entire pizza. But chose not to. Just ate the wings instead. Just give me the wings because we'll at least do a little keto, okay?
Proud of you. There it is.
Thank you. It was a very difficult decision.
Great work.
Didn't do it. I feel like I'm really getting into it. But this.
Well, you guys are on your wedding. You and Diggs are on your wedding diets. That's all it is.
Especially starting today.
Well, Diggs is definitely, because today is a big day for Diggs' diet. Diggs, please explain your diet.
Well, AJ, a few times a year, 2 to 3 times a year, a Monday falls on the first of the month. Like today, a Monday is June 1st. And if that happens, you must then start the diet on that day because it just works out perfectly for your schedule.
Wake up.
I thought you already started it.
Well, yeah, that was a mini one. That was a mini one. Now we go.
Yeah, he's.
Now we go.
But he's going to be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah, big trouble.
He's going to be in big trouble. His wedding isn't for like another 3 months. He is in the best shape of his life right now. He's getting.
Are you stand up? Show us, Diggs. Let me see.
I'm not going to do that, AJ.
Come on, Tony.
Stand up!
Oh,
Just
Look at that skinny
you look
ass.
great. Oh, skinny, my skinny.
No, Nick.
Lift your shirt up.
So your fiance is obviously. Are you getting positive reinforcement from your fiance? And
She is in
fueling your
much
fire?
better shape than I am, so it's kind of the motivation. Like, I don't want my kids to be like, well, how the fuck did this happen?
You think, what?
You call you a fat dude.
Your kids aren't going to call you a fat
They
stooge.
are. I know who they are already.
But he's in. Me too. My kid's going to suck too. But he has to maintain this now for the next 3 months. He's getting fit this weekend for his shit. It's like, yo, that is an aggressive decision.
Diet starts today, so.
I hope so. This Stairmaster though, AJ, kick in the ass. It is a kick. It's just you versus the machine,
Stairmaster is in any college weight room or high school weight room or NFL weight room. The Stairmaster is there for old coaches to slowly climb and to punish guys that do anything wrong.
Punishment. And if you have an upper body injury and you're not able to practice, it's like, okay, well, during practice, since you can't practice because you have an upper body, and you'll just go sit over there on the Stairmaster for the entire practice. We'll just have you on there for the entire practice. And I think there's something you can learn on that Stairmaster. It's just you versus that fucking machine because it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. And it doesn't matter, and I learned this in college, it doesn't matter if you have your hands on the side and you're still making it because at some point, you know what's going to happen? Your arms are going to give out.
Yep.
The Stairmaster becomes a full body workout because you're either on top of that thing holding it up with like your lats or whatever at this point, then it becomes a forearm thing, and then eventually at the end of the day, you're going to have at least 10 minutes where it's just your legs in those fucking steps. And I've enjoyed that at this point where it's like me versus the machine. You versus me, pal. Me and Raycons taking you on with Jeezy thumping in my eardrums. Let's get to it. And I've enjoyed the hell out of it, to be honest.
How many stories you done?
I did 100.
That's a lot.
This weekend.
So how long is that continuous on there?
That's a building.
100 was like 35 minutes for me. 30 minutes.
I bet you're dying. I bet you're drenched in sweat and your legs are shot.
Dead. I had a hoodie on too, so I went like an extra step. You know what I mean? Because I was like, "Hey, need to lose this fat step."
Trying to sweat off some cheap pounds. I used to have coaches tell me that.
Cheap pounds. Hey, these are some new pounds I put on in the weekend. I need to get these boys off of here. But yeah, I had full hoodie on. Did 100 floors. I mean, I'll probably do that again today. I'm getting back into it, and then I'll go get in that pool that the heater broke.
Oh no!
no.
What do you?
So it's a lake now. What do we got? A fucking lake?
Jeez.
Damn it!
Might as well have it above ground.
You don't have a solar cover that heats it? What did he say? I didn't hear him.
He said I might as well have an above ground pool, and I agree. By the way, had one growing up. Tim almost took it down because he strapped himself to a harness to the side of the boat to train and almost took the whole fucking thing. Tim McAfee was too strong for the current. Anyways, yeah, I have one of these big ass things that can hold an elephant allegedly if you were to walk across it. But every time I accidentally slip on it, it sounds like it's breaking in half.
Elephant, yeah, sure.
Look it up. It says it's tested by an elephant. You can look it up. Pool
Yeah,
cover.
It's there for safety for kids. So people have a pool, they have that cover over it. They'll go stand a whole 9 people on it. Like, hey, look, your kid's not going to fall in and die. So that's why you get those.
Yeah, but mine hasn't been updated, I think, for 20 years. So that thing's ready to break at this point. It's ready to go. It's slow as shit, too, when I open it. It's like a 15, 20-minute process. By then, sun has come and gone twice. It's like, all right, let's get it open. I'm not a big pool guy, but I've been getting into it. Stairmaster in the pool, I feel like I'm really finding the best me. I feel good.
I think it's good. You're on this path. I just hope you don't run it too hard early on to where it fizzles out.
Well, that's gonna happen. I mean,
That's kind of you. That's you, right?
Almost.
yeah. I'm going ham, and
Burn
then
it
I'm
both
done with
ends.
it. Going ham, then I'm done with it. But I am. Go ahead.
You probably you learned Spanish for a month and then you forgot completely that you did it. Like piano, guitar, drums, Stairmaster, workouts, pool workouts, and everything goes for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you even forget you did it.
Well, funny you say that because I know the way I operate, and if it can get into my routine, we'll figure it out. If it can just make its way into the routine, we'll be able to figure it out. So the Stairmaster has made its way into the routine. So I'll be on this for another month or two probably until I get done with it and have to move on. But I have tried on numerous occasions. The guitar, I have 3 guitars. Every time I buy a guitar, I'm like, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll learn how to do the guitar. I'll get it in. I try it once. I'm like, okay, I'll do this tomorrow. This was kind of fun. Then I go back tomorrow. I don't have any more success than I had on the first day. And I'm like, well, probably not going to fucking waste any more time on this. And I've done that 3 different times. Piano, I've done that, and Spanish, I've done that. So you're 100% right. They just haven't made their way in. At some point, though, they'll make their way in, and hopefully I'll be able to do it. Hopefully I'll be able to do it.
I think everybody can relate to that. Everyone's like, oh, with this quarantine, let me find something with my extra time, and I'm going to there's an app called Duolingo. The Spanish thing, I'm with you. I've tried multiple times, and I've even gotten pretty far down the road, and then I realized, nope, I don't know really anything, and then that's when it dies off.
Well, you're going to need the word box anyways, the word bank anyways. So you might, even if you're able to understand it, you're not going to be able to answer. You're not going to have, what are you going to do, pull these words that you learned on the internet out of your fucking ass to answer? No, you have no idea. You might be able to understand it a little bit, but you're not going to be able to answer. You're like Zito, basically. You're technically Zito can answer a little bit though, can't you?
Yeah. I if I can remember the word, I'll use the word he used at me back at him.
In a particular fashion.
Exactly. So I can hear him, but then I just forget.
You're a parrot.
Okay.
Zito, is your family disappointed, Zito?
Okay.
No, they're the ones that put me in it.
Remember.
Oh, Spanglish. He couldn't speak either. My bad. So you had to pick.
Whoa, I can speak both, but I combined.
No, you could not speak either. You spoke one language of both of them together.
Spanglish, yeah.
But it was so bad nobody could understand you. Not even other Spanglish speakers.
Wait, how old were you when this was happening?
I'd probably say this is probably close to 5th grade or 4th grade.
Oh, that's pretty deep.
Might be 3rd grade, actually.
They were fed up with it.
Yeah.
The parents are the teachers were like, look, we don't fucking understand what he's saying.
Blocked it all out.
We try to ask the Spanish kids if they know what he's saying. They don't know what he's saying. Nobody knows what he's saying. And the parents are his parents are yeah, we've been experiencing the same thing at home. We just haven't really let him know that we don't understand what he's saying.
What should we do with
What should we do?
Keeps asking for hot dogs.
Oh, come on.
We could hit.
AJ, what do you mean?
AJ, what are you saying,
talking
AJ?
about, AJ?
What are you saying?
What are you talking? I mean, you had Adam Amin. You were making a Gordo comment.
Gee,
Bring it back up, AJ.
Jeez Louise, AJ. Didn't know you
look
were
a little
into
sunburned,
bullying.
Pat.
Jesus.
Yeah, got it. Wait till you see this bad boy right here. Can you see the line?
Oh, yeah.
Were you riding the hog out there with your cutoff on?
There it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was on the hog.
You don't swim with your cutoff on, do you?
What? I would.
You said you're a lot of pool time, and I'm like, all right, well, if your farmers is just right there, or you might have been swimming with that on.
No, I have a pretty good little base tan on the chest and the arms as well. But when you're out on the hog, with a sleeveless, and you put sunscreen on the front here, you see, you put it on the front, and then you put it on the front here. What you miss is that back part that just gets absolutely cooked.
Yep.
And there's quite a defining line down my back there. But we had a nice weekend, you know. I mean, it was obviously very sad with everything that was happening. We had a little lunch yesterday out on a patio in Indianapolis. Restaurants are starting to open back up. We talked about the world a bit. You know, it was a good little day, but I did get cooked by the sun.
A little golf outing too. On
Didn't you guys
Saturday
play
as
golf?
well?
Did you FaceTime me from the course?
Probably not. Potentially. Maybe.
You FaceTime me Saturday at some point.
You should have heard the move I tried to make there on the golf course. It just backfired completely.
AJ, you'd love it.
AJ, you'll love this move. This is very much a me move, okay? So I didn't want to go golf because I don't like holding people up. You know what I mean? I don't like waiting for people in front to golf. And I don't like holding people up behind me. I just don't like it. I understand that's a part of golf.
You want to block off like the first 8 tee times so no one's in front or behind.
Well,
Bingo. That's exactly what I did. 7. I bought 7 tee times, okay? So I bought 7 tee times for me and the boys here.
Wait, did you have to pay greens fees for all those?
Yes.
different tee times
Yeah.
nobody is?
Yeah, I paid 7. I paid 7.
You're like Vince Young when Vince Young supposedly like bought out a whole Southwest plane so he and a couple people could fly on it.
Yeah, I would say just get a private plane. That is what I do.
Different scenario,
But yeah,
right?
different scenario here.
Okay.
But this course, obviously, first weekend really back to life and everything like that. They were packed. A lot of courses were packed. I actually told Foxy, I was like, hey, it's not for me to go. I hate the feeling of people waiting on us. Like, I hate being in
I'm with you.
I hate that feeling when people are behind. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I don't like being the reason why people have to wait. And we were playing 6 wide too. Like we were playing betting games. Like I wanted to enjoy the day out there. And I said, if you find a golf course that lets us have like an hour and 10 minutes of tee times, I'll go. So they called like 10 different golf courses. They find one that has it, and they're like, yeah, we could definitely do that for sure. Let's go. So we get all 7 tee times at this place. We go. I pay for it. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome. We tee off, okay? We tee off 6 wide. The tee times are already 30 minutes behind, though, right? So they were already behind 30 minutes, okay, from everybody that was in front of us. So we teed off. Bang, we go. We're supposed to have 7 tee times now. They sold as soon as we teed off and we get off the green. There's people teeing off right behind us going because their tee times were so far delayed. The people behind us had a tee time that was supposed to be whatever 7 after it was, and they just went right behind us. So literally, I got scammed and hoodwinked by the golf course for, good for them though. They were out of business for 5 months or a couple months and all that stuff. But I paid a lot of money for that. And instead, by hole 2.5, I was a burden for a group of 4 behind us. And I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I can't do this. And I just left. So I golfed a little bit, but not a lot, strictly because I hate being the person that's in the fucking way on the golf course. You know why? Because I hate when somebody's in my way in front of it. So I've always said, you know what, not going to be that guy. And I buy 7 tee times and it doesn't get upheld. They can take the reservation, you see. They just can't hold the reservation. And that was a problem.
Did you have groups in front of you? Were you having to wait on somebody in front
of you? Yeah. We were waiting. We bought 7 tee times.
Terrible.
We were waiting and people were on our ass. I mean,
absurd.
It was absurd. Now, next time we do this, we got to hire somebody or get somebody that is close friends of ours, but not really.
Mitt.
Probably Mitt and a friend of his. We tee off, and then he tees off at the last tee time, and he just keeps the distance in between whatever it is. That's the way we would have to do that. This is my first time ever doing that, and it was a pretty absurd idea, actually. I was like, I'll go if we can get an entire hour of tee times. And Foxy's like, okay, I'll do it. I never heard of it before. And I was like, there's no way that works. And then it turns out it doesn't work, but they will charge you for it. So that's what happened this weekend. And then I left after hole 5, I think.
Yeah.
Went home, wasn't golfing great, was in people's way. They played through at one point. It was like, all right.
Oh, it happened
It was
3
a
more
mess.
times after
Get
that,
me
too.
the fuck out.
Well, if you were playing with you had 6 in your group.
Yeah.
Most courses won't let that even happen, so I'm sure the people behind you were super mad.
Oh, were they super mad? They should see how I felt because they
They
weren't
don't know.
supposed to be
They don't
fucking
know.
behind me.
They don't know that happened though.
I know they're like I actually said they're Jordan Love in this situation. You know, like they are. I was very nice to those people, by the way, too.
Yeah.
As they were on our ass, we were nice to them. As they were driving through our hole, I was nice to them. When I left and I drove past them, I was nice to them. I understood that it was not their decision to do that. It was Gunther Kuntz's who was in the clubhouse just sending people fucking.
Did you
out.
see the group of 12 that passed us?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay, I don't know if you were there. For
I was
that.
there for the group of 12 that came. Yeah. Anyways, I actually ended up helping them because they were behind on tee times, and then they were able to just catch right up because I bought out the delay, which is, I'm happy I could help small business, actually, to be honest with you. Good for them, good for everybody. Sad weekend. I got to get out of here. How do you feel about our show today, AJ? Pretty good?
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad Adam Amin joined us. It was fun. You recapped J.R. Smith and the Raycons, so everything's good.
Raycons?
Oh, he swore a lot on the show. And I just got a text from the radio company, and I thought it was going to be them chewing me out because he said shit 5 times in the first minute of our conversation. In our radio connection, our guy Don, he's a good guy. He's got to deal with a lot. He's a good guy. He goes, "Is there any way you can tell him to stop?" And as he said that, I just took him out of my ear. I was like, "I'm not telling J.R. Smith to stop saying shit right now. This is." Everybody wants to hear what J.R. Smith is talking about. And if he's comfortable enough to start saying shit early, I'm not going to stop him. Yeah. This is what we want somebody to get to. It just happens to stink when the FCC is taking money from people for swearing. It's like, well, this seems like this is a you problem.
Also led to an all-time quote later on in the show that might have had a swear word.
Have you heard what he said about being a lion and a tiger?
No.
Oh, my God. He gave his quote where I talked about LeBron and Jordan. And then he agreed with me and Foxy about how it's impossible to kind of judge the different eras of basketball because it's 2 different sports. It's 2 different sports entirely. What it was in the 90s led to what it is now, but the game has evolved so much, both rules-wise, nutrition-wise, technique-wise, strategy scheme-wise, everything. It's just gotten so much better. The athletes have gotten much better, so it's just hard to compare the two. He agreed with our statement on that, I think, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
And then he said, it's like comparing LeBron and Jordan is like comparing a lion and a tiger. Like, yeah, they're both cats, right? They're definitely both cats, but you can't really compare the two. He said, the lion's the king of the jungle. People bow down to the lion, but the tiger's like, hey, I'm a bad motherfucker too. That was his actual quote, and we all lost it. And I assume everybody at the radio stations were like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Did he just say motherfucker?
Well, he just said motherfucker twice in one. How did we shit 5 times at the beginning?
FCC's calling them behind.
Yeah, so we might have to pay some money in fines, to be honest with you. But it was I'm very thankful he came on.
That's a great quote. You're the new Howard Stern, where the FCC just has to keep their finger on you, and you're gonna probably end up in lawsuits and everything.
What did Howard Stern get paid? $80 million a year, $85 million a year,
something like that. Yeah.
You're on your way.
I'm on my way home, sweet home. I couldn't hear that because this thing was out. It sound good? Was it good echo? Good reverb on it? AJ?
Sounded great, yeah. Do the boys always know the songs that you're singing, or how does that work?
Every time.
Mm-hmm. We have a meeting before every show and say, hey, boys, these are the songs that are going to come up. So make sure you know at least a little bit of it, at least the melody. Okay, need the melody. That's all.
How disappointed would people be if they thought that that was really the truth? Like, guys, hey, now you know how I'm like, I got to give off the impression that I'm really I fly by the seat of my pants, but you give them a list of like 80 songs that they have to be prepared to sing along with for every show.
Yeah, that's what the boys got. They got an entire script they got to read out.
Whole playlist,
Sleeve, actually.
We all have the same playlist.
I did not know that one.
What?
Oh
my God.
That's the problem, by the way. That's the
Foxy.
problem. That's the show, Foxy.
God damn it,
That's the
Fox.
show. Thanks for ruining it, Foxy. Jesus.
He has to deal with some stuff at home, though. It's tough.
All right, this show's over.
The greatest sports talk show on the internet from 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. So come on down for a mental vacation with the boys on YouTube Live. It's McAfee and Hulk. It's McAfee and Hulk Sports Talk. AJ used to tackle quarterbacks and he's a Rust Belt kind of guy. That's the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking pass missiles to the sky. It's McAfee and Hulk. It's McAfee and Hulk Sports Talk. It's McAfee and